Welcome to 5 Good Minutes.
You're listening to today's inspirational message on the book of Hebrews
with Dan Irvin.
Well, we live in an era that sociologists call a meritocracy, meaning that our value in the world that we live in is dramatically tied to our performance from way back maybe when you were in school and the grades you got that pushed towards your job that you had today and led to promotions that you sought. Or you look at the number of social media followers that you have to the accomplishments that you can achieve in athletics, job, all of it. Our worth is measured by what we produce. And this kind of mindset, because of the world we live in, I think it creeps into all aspects of our lives and our spiritual lives. And I think all of us, if we're honest, we've probably thought at one point or another, if I can just do a little more, if I can just pray a little bit more, maybe serve a little bit more, give a little bit more, then maybe I'll get to the place with God, the security level with God that I know He'll feel good about me and I'll feel good about what I'm doing for Him. I need to produce more. But Hebrews chapter 9, we see this confronted. In verses 26 through 28, we read that Christ has appeared once for all at the culmination of the ages to do away with sin by the sacrifice of Himself. You know, those words to me are piercing. Once for all. You know, not halfway, not conditionally, not based on what we do, but once and for all. And that's a big deal. It changes things, because the problem is if our standing before God depends on our performance, then we'll never be able to rest. We'll live in our own pride, thinking that we've done enough. Or we'll live in this constant state of despair, realizing that we haven't done enough and there's no way that we can do enough. But both keep the focus in these views on ourselves. But the good news, the gospel of Jesus, shifts that focus onto Him, to His once and for all sacrifice. Think about it for just a minute. Pretty much every other world religion essentially says this is what you must do to get to God, to achieve high enough rank, to be known by God, to be seen by God, to be accepted by God. But Christianity says, the gospel says, this is what God has done for you in Christ. His sacrifice is not something you add to. It's something that we receive. It's something that is finished. You know, imagine you buy an original Vincent van Gogh piece of art, a painting, and then someone comes along with a box of Crayola markers and they say, hey, let me work on this a little bit. Let me touch this up a little bit. That's almost what it's like when we try to add to the work of Christ, to the finished work of Christ. It's not an improvement. It cheapens it. It devalues it. You know, His once for all sacrifice is more than enough, yesterday, today, and forever. You know, if Jesus' sacrifice is enough, here's what it means for us today. So we can live in an assurance instead of anxiety. We don't have to wonder, am I doing enough? Am I secure enough? You know, this is already settled at the cross. Look at verse 28 in Hebrews 9. Christ was sacrificed once to take away the sins of many, and He will appear a second time, not to bear sin, but to bring salvation to those who are waiting for Him. I mean, do you see this? His first coming removed the penalty of sin, and His second coming one day will remove the presence of sin. That is the hope of the gospel. So here's the invitation today. Rest. Rest in the finished work of Christ. Rest in His once and for all sacrifice that can never be undone, never be added to, never be improved upon. Because what He has done is enough. Jesus' sacrifice was once for all. We can stop striving to perform, to earn, and we can start resting in what He's done today.
for joining us here today. There's a lot of great content to explore on Orchard Hill Plus and on the Orchard Hill main feed from the weekend. Have a great day.